What's up, everybody? It's a winning Wednesday here on Heat Ratio Sports Network, powered on YouTube. I'm Dave Gleckner. That's Marc Thomasini. We are fourth and go, ready to talk some Philly 4 for 4, plus a whole lot more over the next. Hey, we'll see how far it goes. But coming off a couple big dubs, we do feel like it is the hashtag you know and love, a winning Wednesday. What's up, Marc?
What up? What up? Yeah, you know what it is. It's another winning one. We did good. The Eagles, we had our nice post-game show on Sunday. That was, a good game to watch. First half, a little tricky, but the second half, they took care of business. Then the Sixers pull one out in Toronto the other night. It was much needed. They need to get their act together, and, we'll definitely go down into it. But good to see them back on the winning way.
No, that was awesome. We'll get into the Sixers game last night. I was stunned at how Toronto decided to attack. But I'm very pleased with the outcome. But we'll kick it off. We'll get into what was down at the link this last Sunday. A game that was a little bit slow developing, but really did turn into the Eagles' favor come second half. We did our post-game show, gave our quick breakdowns and thoughts in that game, so we won't hang in there too much. But with that said, what I will say is, even sitting back after, a couple days from Sunday now, the more I just start to really digest that game, I just was very happy with Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, both of them. I looked at bad first halves, very good second halves, and overall the defense. It's just been good. It's been very good. I know the teams haven't been great, but it's been good. So overall, this team's really developing, and it's something that does resemble a playoff team. And I'm happy. It's a good win.
They're taking care of business, and that's what you have to do. Like I said, if they had beaten the Giants a couple weeks ago, we're looking at this even better than we are now. But I've come around the corner. Like, you know what? The way that the NFC is shaking out this year, the way that they're playing past couple of weeks, they deserve to be in the playoffs. Like, they actually do. And it took me a while to get to that point. Again, we'll see what happens this Sunday. This Sunday, they could clinch a playoff spot this Sunday, actually.
That's what I was going to say, right? They need the Vikings to lose.
Vikings lose. Saints lose, and Niners.
Well, they lost Monday. Win. Okay.
But, it's at least, I know it's at least the Vikings lose and the Niners win. But I feel like there is another stipulation on top of that.
Yeah, I agree. But, it is when you're starting to look at it, you watch what the Saints were on Monday night. Ian Book ain't that guy. He's not that guy. So they're in a lot of trouble, and they're fading off fast. The Vikings, they just lost Adam Thielen for the rest of the season. He re-injured his ankle. Cook's back this week, but they got a big task. They're going against Green Bay, and they're going for the 1 seed. They're not slowing down. That's in Green Bay too, I think.
Yeah. So that's a tough task for them. So Eagles have a chance to take care of business. They go out there, win. We'll see.
Yeah, and that's what we got to see on Sunday, right? The first half, 3-3 doesn't look like a playoff team, but when you go 31-3 in the second half, or 31-7, it does look like a playoff team. So if we can get to see, and they're coming off 4 days rest, short week. Maybe there was some of that going on. I get it, but it was the Sirianni coming out, winging it around, and not necessarily going right to his strengths right away. But he did fix that. That's why I'm like, all right, Nick, you got it. And I give him credit because it's the game's 60 minutes. It's not 30. And as much as I was kind of disgusted at half, I did still feel good. Like, they're going to win this game.
I was right.
Jake Fromm. Yeah. So
their defense played well the whole game. There was no doubt about that. That's luckily what kept them in it. Now, against Jake Fromm, Giants have not been able to do anything, but their defense was vicious. They came out, they played hard. And as the game went on, and this is the thing that the Eagles have been doing, they play the slow game with you. They hang with you a little bit in the beginning, even though their defense was tenacious. As the game goes on, they lure you into making mistakes. They lure you in the sacks. They wear you down. That just seemed to be what happened. And then at halftime, they realized that they weren't playing the way they should. Second half was completely different.
Yeah, and I'll go back to one key play right before halftime. I think Hurts missed got it wide open in the end zone, and decided to go on this like under route to Quez instead.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up settling for the field goal. Two things on that play. One, kicking the field goal. I know we all didn't love it at the time, but getting 3 points was just big. Just getting the half and being tied was big, right? And then second, I read a great article on The Athletic earlier this week about what Hurts was reading on that play. I got to give the guy a lot of credit. He said what he saw is a cover 7, and he understands, the coverage in that allows this underneath man to be open. It's his first read. And the guy, I think it was, what's the Giants' good safety? It'll come to mind.
McKinney.
But McKinney, that's what it was. Xavier McKinney. He dropped off the coverage at the last second because Quez, if you showed the play, Giants got confused. There were two guys chasing Quez. He was gone if McKinney doesn't drop off. So I gotta give him a lot of credit. A lot of credit. Hey, we got Nick checking in. Thanks, Nick. He put your trust in Nick. You got the same first name, so already I know you got to have a little trust in that guy. But no, seriously, it's gotten better every single week. And as much as Mark and I were frustrated early in the year at this guy's inability to really react to NFL football, he's been pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm still going to stick with I need to see what they do against better competition. This year, we might not really get to see that. We may see it in a playoff game. Obviously, he's already earned next year, which that's a given. I'm saying that kind of tongue in cheek, but like next year, we're really going to get to see, does he make adjustments in the way that, does he go with his strengths to start the season, stay that way? Like I said, we saw it in game 1 for like 7 games there. He lost it and then found it again.
Yep.
Well, he's got it's about knowing your strengths, playing to them when it matters.
So let's do it. We're in week 16, going into week 17 now. Has Nick Sirianni been a good hire?
Yeah, he has. I mean, as of this point, he has. It's been touch and go there, and the fact that he was calling plays on top of not being a play caller, even though he was an offensive coordinator, it had me worried. At this point, I got to say he's taking care of business against the teams he should have for the most part, with the exception of that Giants game. And at this point, I can't say he's a bad hire. That's for sure.
All right. I'm going to agree with
better
you
than what I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you too. If you look at the landscape of the coaches that were hired coming into the season, it was clear Nick Sirianni was the lowest rated, if not the worst pick of head coaches. But that's what the Eagles do, right? Even when they got Andy Reid, he wasn't, highly sought after. Doug Peterson for sure wasn't. Chip's the only one that kind of, off the board, they got one of those.
Right.
They
either
like
have
to kind of
or the worst, and usually it's the worst.
Yeah, but they like that. They want to pick the obscure, and they want to prove you that they know what it takes to find someone that can coach and lead men. And I mean, there are a couple names out there that are doing well, but I'm looking at the guys in Atlanta. Arthur Smith, jury's still out. They're just okay at best. I know that was a name that was tossed around too, right? But their offense is kind of terrible, and he's coming from this great Tennessee area, and they definitely are scratching their head a little bit at Arthur Smith right now. It's hard to judge Robert Salah, but we've already seen what Urban Meyer has done. So you start to look at the hires from this last season. Sirianni might be at the top now, and that's a lot of mea culpas that us Philly fans have to take. We were kind of riding high a little bit with the Jersey Shore stuff early on, and the T-shirts and the pandering, then the bad calls and the inability to really react to the NFL game. But now he's back, and I'm just really impressed that it's no longer about Nick Sirianni. I felt it was more about Nick Sirianni in the offseason. Everything was Nick Sirianni. Even the stupid plant talk about 2 months ago,
right?
Flowers.
That was when it all started. Right.
But now they're winning, and he's not. He's secondary, and that's what you want to have a coach. Yeah, and I think he's learning. I think he's growing, and I'm good on Nick Sirianni. I am very, very good. And I think Nick is too, and I think you are. So,
Yeah.
hey, we move on to this. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the fact that he peeled off on the pandering. That's all I needed. I needed him to pull back on the pandering. It's because it was like so in your face. It was too much, and he was trying to make it bigger than it was. But I think he's finally like just settled into coaching and taking care of coaching, and that's the demeanor that I'm seeing now. He's not because like it goes back to the moment last week against Washington when he was yelling at Hurts. Like before that, he's trying to be everybody's friend.
Yeah.
You want to be their friend, but you also got to be an authoritarian. Like you got to be the head coach too. You got to let them know when they're not on. Yeah, that was for me.
That's a great point. I thought that was a great situation, and I'm loving me some Nick right now. So, as much as I'm loving me some Nick, we're going into Sunday. We're going down to Washington, and that love's got to stay. It can only stay if we win down there versus a team in absolute shambles, a team that's I don't even know what to call them now except shit show. What we saw on Sunday Night Football, where what was it? Allen and it's 94-93.
But you're on Payne.
Yep. Just started
Alabama
each other on the sidelines. Yeah, and it's not even that. Like the ESPN, of course, the quote unquote leader in sports, the guys that that's all they can report on is this little fight on the sideline in a 56-14 game. They're awful, by the way. They're just awful. But it wasn't just that. They were just absolutely embarrassed on national television. Right. And Dallas took it easy on them. They have 42 at half and took it easy on them. Yeah. And I mean, the Eagles did a little bit to them too. That last Tuesday night, gaining, 500 yards against them? Yeah. They're starting to, and Ron Rivera is starting to shake his head, not sure what the answer is right now. Obviously, they won this division last year. It's not going to happen now. The Cowboys have won another different division winner for about 15 straight years. Yep. But focusing on the WFT, they're a mess. Yeah, you got to kick them when you're down. And that's where, if you give them that effort that you gave in the first half this week, if the Eagles keep this game close in the first half like they did to the Giants, you get a little nervous. You give someone confidence that doesn't need to have confidence. They don't want to play football right now. Right. Go in there, beat them down early, take control by half, make it a laugher. That's what I'm hoping for.
Dave already said that Kyle Allen may see the field at some point.
He should. I mean, Henneke looked terrible again.
Right. I'm just saying.
And he did. He saw the field, right? They did. He came in late in that other game, which was fine. I mean, Henneke, not only did he look terrible, I felt bad for him because he was getting quote unquote murdered.
I mean, he's been getting beat up all year.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was just push came to shove at that point.
Yep.
So I mean,
look, so
the Eagles need to just take care of business. They can't make it close. They can't, because this is my thing. I get frustrated when they start off slow. Like a lot of times, even though they've been getting wins here, they start off slow.
Right.
With this Washington team, the way that they are now, like the mystery's over. It's not a Tuesday night game. You have a full week of rest. Get it together. You know you're playing Heineke/Kyle Allen. Just go and take care of business. Do what you've been doing. Run the ball effectively and, send some pressure with your front four. See what happens. Just play better football. Don't overthink this. Don't change your game plan. Do what works. And Washington's going to be ready for it, even though they're, they got embarrassed, but keep running on them because they couldn't stop you the other night.
No, and Ron Rivera has pride. He's not a guy that's going to allow you to quit. So I do think they will come with some sort of effort. I can make them quit. That's really what my opening analysis here was. I think if you can impose your will, you can make them quit. But if you let them hang around, they're the type of team that will get that, energy and motivation, and it'll be closer than what we want if that's the case. And here, Miles Sanders being out is a big news, and it's big because it's a hand, and that could impact the way you hold the football and everything. But we still have Boston Scott, and they polished him off last game. This guy seems to come in at the end of every year and just save the season. it's awesome seeing him out there. And I think now mixing in Boston, Gainwell, I hope they give him a little shot. It seems like he's still just a passing game option for them. And Howard, I still think will be an effective running game. I don't think this slows them down with Miles being out. I think his explosiveness is better against these better teams we'll see in the playoffs. But for these games coming up, I think we'll be okay with that group.
Yeah, no, I mean Jordan Howard, he's proven his worth again. I know he's got that stinger. Hopefully he's okay. They said it was good news earlier this week, so
yeah,
he didn't practice today, but there are a lot of guys that didn't practice. I agree with you. I need to see more Gainwell with Miles being out. He's your next fastest guy, and you can use him. Really, I just want to see him in the pass game. I want to see him out of the backfield in the pass game on second and third down. I think that's where he'll be used best at this point because he's been up, he's been down, he's been up, they're using him, they're not. He sees the field, he doesn't see the field. Now the opportunity is there for him. You got Howard and Scott as your bruiser backs. Gainwell kind of to switch it up, be a little shifty. I agree. It definitely, and also another thing that I might have said in our post game show, but I hate to see Gainwell returning kicks. I mean, I know Rager had that nice return, but you got to have a short leash there too. Field position matters, and Gainwell is a guy who runs forward every time.
Yeah, I agree. It's just that fumble on the first opening kickoff, I think, scared them a little bit too, right? That was the other thing. Just as an aside, the game against Washington, we had some weird, turnovers, right? Off Goddard's foot, but versus the Giants, we got lucky and every bounce went our way. So it kind of bounces out, doesn't it?
Yeah, I want to see Hurts play a clean game from start to finish. Not saying he has to be great, but just don't make errant throws.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. In 20-26 last game, I think it was. He was
almost 300 yards.
Yeah, I think if I can keep his completion percentage up above 65%, more on the NFL average, that's what I want to see too. So, I'm with you. I think there's a lot of opportunity here for Hurts to have another good game. A lot of opportunity for the run game to be really, effective. And Dallas Goedert again should have a huge game. You watched the Cowboys on Sunday night, expose them with the tight end. And we're able to get many big plays down the field. So, and Goddard had his best game of the year against Washington. So, with all that said, Mark, I'm going to lead off with you. What's your prediction for this Sunday?
Line is 3.5 points. I like the Eagles to cover. I like the Eagles here. Looking at it, I say they win by a touchdown. I'm going to say 27-20. I think that Washington will come with, a garbage time touchdown, kind of like what the Giants did last week.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah. So they definitely have margin the whole game, and then they get one late, and that's fine. Yeah. I do like the number. I like what you're talking about with the 27 with the Eagles. I think that it's somewhere right around that. I mean, they're a team that has scored a good amount of points, especially versus bad teams. And we've talked about it, in past shows. When the Eagles play bad teams, they beat bad teams. And when they beat bad teams, they beat them bad to the spread. I think they're somewhere around the 8 to 9 point range of outperforming the spread in games that they win, ATS. So with that said, a 3.5 worries me only from a Vegas perspective. I thought, after watching Washington get beat by 48.
And the way the Eagles
I thought it'd be more, but I'm not going to get fooled. I'm not going to get tricked. I'm not going to sit here and play anything different than what we have been. Eagles beat bad teams. They beat bad quarterbacks, and they beat them bad. I'm with you. I'm going to go 28-16 as my final score for the Eagles. It's going to be right around that number for the over. The over is sitting at 44.5 right now. So I place it right on the 44 number. Eagles tend to play more overs, not much more, but just like last week, the Giants played more unders, and then, it was 3.5, and eventually it went over.
Right.
The Eagles just play right around the over. The total number. No, I'm going to have this final right around there. And you do too. You have it just going over.
Right.
All right, bud. As we do here on 4th and Go. Last week, I think you're coming off a 3-0 week. Am I right? Wrong?
No.
Oh, Arizona. 2-1. Yeah.
2-1.
You were 2-1.
2-1.
But 2-1 is good. And I think I almost give you a pass on that Arizona game. Like, that team's a no touch for me now. They've
Right.
just completely given up.
Yeah.
Like not given up, but how should I say it?
They're out of it. Like they're mentally not there. They're not the same team.
Yeah. I'm watching Kyler Murray blame people. Cliff Kingsbury just sit there with his hands in his pocket, challenging the stupidest challenges. And enough with them. We're going to go into our 3-packs. And with that said, I'm going to lead off with you on your first one here because 2-1 is still plus money.
Keep riding the Detroit Lions. All they do is cover their side of the spread.
Lions are +7 at Seattle. Seattle has not had the year. They just lost to the Bears. Nick Foles, St. Nick, he came back and did them dirty. They were at home. But the Lions are, I think I saw they're either 10-5 or 11, I think they're 10-5 against the spread this year. Second best in the NFC. So Lions just take care of business. They play hard. They win you money if you put a little trust in them. They're not going to win many games, but that's what they do. I'm going until they lose. Lions +7.
Yeah, you've been good with some Lions this year. I'll give you that. Dan Campbell and you should just pound it out because you got the right pace, or the right pulse, I should say.
Yeah,
you've hit them at the right time. I like that pick. Hey, I'm going to go, and I don't love taking big favorites, but this week I do on this one. I'm going to take the New England Patriots -15 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think, and I'm pretty sure that Bill Belichick has some relationship with Urban Meyer. I think they're friendly from their days at Florida and some other things, and I think that's going to go a little bit into play here when New England takes the field this week. Already they've been down. They've lost 2 in a row now, losing last week to Buffalo, losing the week before to Indianapolis. It's time that they got to get healthy, get winning again. They're actually right on the bubble of the playoffs.
Right.
And one thing we've known is, with New England, they've beaten some bad teams by a lot this year. They beat the Jets by almost 50. It's a good get well spot for New England, and I think there's even a little bit added motivation for Bill to kick the Jaguars when they're down. Firing his buddy, even though rightfully so, he should have been fired. But I like New England. I think it's a Mac Jones get well game too. But they rely on that defense. And Trevor Lawrence hasn't thrown for multiple touchdowns in the game since week 1. He's been a major disappointment to me. Last week, I had them. He had an open field running the ball down the sidelines and went out at the 4-yard line right before the end of the game and mismanaged those 4 downs. He spiked one of them. From the goal line. It was atrocious, and I'm not impressed by him. And now you put him up against one of the best defenses in the league. It's pick city. This one could get ugly. I got Patriots by over 20.
Wow. Yeah, I'm going a different way. I'm going big dog today or this weekend. Texans +13 at San Francisco. Granted, we need San Francisco to win. That helps us solidify a playoff spot, but. Jimmy Garoppolo, he has that thumb issue. Is it?
Yep.
I still don't know, but I think he's probably going to be out, right? He's out.
Yeah, I think he's out. Yep.
Yeah. So Trey Lance is coming in. That's still a big line for, we really haven't seen much when it comes to Trey Lance this year. We thought it was going to be his show. Garoppolo has just been able to do his job and manage the game, and it's worked out for them. Maybe they'll have Trey Lance do the same. He'll probably use his feet. But with that being said, the Texans play hard. They're kind of like the Lions. They've, I think, outperformed expectations because their expectations were practically zero. With the whole Deshaun situation and losing Tyrod Taylor and Davis Mills, their quarterback, and he's made some good throws. They're a decent team. Like I said, they play hard. I like the Texans here to lose by in that 7-10 range.
Well, there's one thing about the Texans, and that's that they played hard lately, and they have been in games, and I respect that pick. It's tough taking bad teams at the end of the year because you just don't know how they'll show up. But if they've shown you anything these past few weeks, they're going to try. And Davis Mills,
they know they got nothing right now. I mean, it's been a bad year all around for them.
I agree, but I'm almost saying Davis Mills has been better than some of the top 4 or 5 quarterbacks taken. And I don't know if he's the future there, but they might have a little something. They might. I mean, he's out of Stanford. He was a guy that, some people were high on, some people weren't. I think he went in the 3rd round, something around there. But he showed some moxie. He can throw the ball. So I like the pick. I really do. All right. This is tough, but I'm going tomorrow night. And I'm going Smoking Joe. What a game. 525 he throws for against Baltimore. And really puts a dagger in Baltimore's season. They're almost done, dead, out of it. I mean, they're not quite, because AFC North is just crazy right now. But he put a stamp on it. And then it was near the end of the game. They're still throwing. They're still throwing with under left up 20. I don't know if they were going for a record. I don't know what, but it's the Bengals and they don't care. And I kind of like that attitude. And I know the Chiefs they're just smoking hot. They just can't be touched right now. I mean, they obliterated. They were up 30-0 against the Steelers before you could even blink. But it's tough going on a short week, flying out to Cincy, cold. And I think Joe's got something. He likes being the dog. And I like Cincy in this matchup. Give me them +5 this week. There's Cincy's not in yet. And I know KC has a lot to play for too. Right. Now they're in the 1 seed. But 5 points seems like something I can hang my heart on. Right. And I think they can stay within that number. I'm not sure they win outright just because
I was just going to ask.
The Bengals lose too many close games. We've seen them lose in overtime to the Niners. We've seen them, they've just been – the close games aren't really their expertise
yet. But they hang around. Right.
But they can hang around. That's what I got. I got them hanging around, not winning, though.
Okay, I can dig it. For my last game of the week, I'm going to go with the Oakland Raiders. +6.5 at the Indianapolis Colts. The Carson-less Indianapolis Colts. They've been riding high. They've been playing well. And I think this is going to kind of just be a little bit of a letdown. The Raiders know that they're going to run the ball with Taylor. I think they're going to try and stop that and make – who is it, Erlinger? No, or it's not Easton.
Yeah, Sam Erlinger.
Sam Erlinger.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to make him throw the ball. I mean, we'll see how that defense does, but they've been hit or miss. But I think that they're going to just zone in on Jonathan Taylor. And I think, the Raiders they're still in it. They go take a lot for them. But I think Derek Carr tries to have a good game. So I don't even know, and I don't think outright. I just think that's going to be close to comfort for Indy.
I like it. I do. I want to take the Raiders as well, especially if Ellinger plays. So I think tonight, grab the 6.5 and sit there, because if they say Ellinger is playing, I think you're in good shape. And the Raiders, they haven't been impressive, but they won the last few weeks, and they're right there. They're knocking. So I do think they stay within that number, even if Wentz plays. I think the Colts have just been riding a little high. So I'm with you. I like it. Hey, I'm going to go, and I mistakenly said Bengals tomorrow night. They are all Sunday this week. I was just getting excited for some football tomorrow night. That's college this week. But hey, I'm going to go to the hottest team in the NFL, and that's the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
They are getting 3.5 at Tennessee, and I like them. I'm going to sit here and say that, as much as the Philly fan in me wants them to lose, to improve our draft stocks and assets, they're just playing good. And Tua's just playing mistake-free, solid, not spectacular football, but the defense. The defense is really where they've been really hanging their hat. They've let up, I think, less than 20 points in 5 of these 7 games. They really played well. And I think the Dolphins are a team at 3.5, but I'm going to take the Dolphins this week. The Tennessee's not there yet for me. I know A.J. Brown's back, had a really good game last week, but if you can't just dominate on the ground like they normally do with Derrick Henry, I'm going to have – I'm riding Dolphins. I'm staying – it hits 10 times in a row black on roulette. Let's make it 11. I'm going Dolphins.
All right. I see you. I'm hoping that Tennessee wins that one. And Tennessee's still riding pretty high too. So I don't know.
Hey, I mean, Tone, I sometimes, got a little skills with the artwork here. Thanks for checking in, T. And Dan Green checking in too as well, man. Dan, I hope this week, I know you got 2 weeks left in your big pool. Hope you got some big picks saved up. Mark and I just released our 3 for now. I'm leaning Dolphins, New England, and Cincinnati. And Mark, you are?
Lions, Texans, and Raiders.
There we go. All right. So that rolls us into the Philadelphia 76ers. Mark, last night I watched that whole game and I was pumped. I just was stunned that the Toronto Raptors, a team that has actually played very well against centers, I think they're 28th in the league at points scored for centers. Like, centers just don't do that well against Toronto because they play that type of, team defense. They decided last night, I'm not going to let the Sixers shooters beat us. And I laugh because there's no Sixers shooters. But they played him one-on-one. They left him alone in the box. They would not help. Right. They would not double. And the man ate him alive. And I loved it. I loved watching every second of it. And I tell you, I'm just happy. Like, Joe is turning into like a different monster at times. One that is just, so dominant when he sees his team needs him. And it's really been fun to watch. What did he overtake Iverson the other day for point? Nah, was it not Iverson?
No, they did it in the same amount of time. 282 games, they hit 7,000 points. And I think he was a couple points more. I think it was like 7. I think Embiid was at like 7,013 and Iverson was like 7,005. For points in 282 games. Pretty good.
No, I agree. Hey, you can take this one.
Nah, I want those parts of it. No, I feel like that's a one night wonder in my opinion. Nothing close to a machine there.
He's absolutely a fraud. Like I think I said it recently.
I'm not buying it.
I kind of held on a little bit longer than a lot of people, just thinking he was a fit. He's not only is he not a fit, he's just like, he's so soft. And it's just, I can't take a guy that just doesn't want it. He just doesn't want it. And that's what we need here in Philly. And, you can sell me this triple-double, his first career triple-double, by the way. And, it's still horse, what to me, because the guy is just he's not a winner. He's a guy that's collecting money and playing basketball. He's a guy at the Y that will probably light us up, but that's it. He just wants to just play some ball and go home.
Yeah, you can't sell me on that. I mean, I think, I think everybody knows my thoughts on the whole situation from a couple years ago from that team when they brought Butler and they brought Harrison. They let Butler go. They paid Harris. They paid Simmons. They paid Horford, just mistakes all around. And that's why we are where we are today. And Harris has something to do with it, but he is, it's part of brand and everything like that. I'm not going to get into all of it because I could go on because I'm like a conspiracy theorist when I look at it, even though the proof is right there. Harris is just a player. He's a journeyman player. Like, that's what he was his whole career. He's stuck in LA under Rivers. And we thought, all right, you know what? Now that Rivers is here, we're going to get the best Tobias Harris. No, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. They don't have guard play, and he takes more of the attention away. It's.
And he had like 12 points, right? Like, it wasn't like he's still nowhere to be found.
He did have 19.
19. He ended up with 19, but
he was 3 of 12 from the field.
Yeah.
The reason why he actually got to the foul line, he was 13 of 14. He was 3 of 12 from the field. Your number 2 is not a guy who normally goes 3 of 2. Like, you can't. That can't be your number 2.
No, and Niang was actually a big player last night for them. And again, my theory in watching this game, it was a lot more like, they just were like, Joel, you go try and beat us. We're not going to let the other 4. And I just can't believe, like, you would actually have that theory when you have George's Niang.
Yeah.
Tobias Harris, Maxey, Furkan, like guys that shouldn't beat you. They just stayed on. Like, I don't know. It was a weird really, I thought, a weird approach to the game by Nick Nurse. He's still the coach there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
it was odd to me.
Yeah, I mean, you got, Harris shooting more than Curry. Like Curry it's some, I forget who said it last night on Twitter. It was somebody's like Steph Curry or Seth Curry is one of the best shooters in the league, and yet he doesn't shoot enough.
No,
like he was 3 for 8.
I took him to score over 12.5 points last night. He had 12. I think
12.
Yeah, I think he might have had 9 or 10 at half. He shot no 3-pointers in the second half, shot one shot from the field.
Yeah.
How are you going to do that with your second best player?
Right. That's your second best player, not Harris.
I agree. So let me ask you this. I had a good debate last night on Heat Ratio Live. Who's bigger to blame right now for where the Sixers are, Morey or Rivers? And I'll let you take that because I did have an opinion. I won't lead you in.
Right. To me, it's still Rivers. Everybody wants to get mad at Morey and be mad at him, and I get it. You want him to make a decision, do something with Simmons, keep it going. But I think Rivers doesn't coach these guys up well enough. I don't think he plays to their strengths. Like we talk about Nick Sirianni playing to his strengths. I don't think Rivers does that. I don't think this team has an identity. I think it's just like hope that Joel is playing well, hope that some of our guys are making shots, but we're trying to feed the ball into Harris. Like I don't. To me, I don't think you can judge Morey until the trade deadline or until something happens.
Okay.
I want to know.
I guess I lean more Morey, and the only reason I do right now is because he completely blundered this Ben Simmons thing. Right. If you got a piece that has value, and you know that Ben Simmons had value, you do all you can to protect the value, make sure you don't have other people devalue it. And he didn't do that. He let Rivers, he let Embiid, he let everyone else sit there and rip him after the season. He made it be known that he's out there for trade. And this thing should have been settled, done. He should have been out here way before the season. Instead, now it's an ego game with him. And he's holding the fans hostage. And he's holding his team hostage. And Embiid has, 3 good years left? I mean, you hope it's more, but, like, realistically.
No,
and you're wasting
I agree with you on that point.
Yeah, you're wasting one of them?
But this is an organizational failure from long ago that is still reigning on this team. Ben was going to do this at some point regardless. He's maniacal in this. He knows what he's doing. He just doesn't want to be here. It's not him. And I'm sorry, but it's not like they said he effing sucks. He's the worst thing ever. Like, yes, did they blame him for losing the game? Probably. And was it a bad moment to do so? Sure. But I'll say this. You got to learn how to take responsibility for yourself too. He takes no accountability whatsoever. None. And it was going to be like this anyway. I think Morey knows that there is some business that somebody will be desperate enough to take on this mistake. I think he was trying to make it work because everybody's saying that he was supposed to trade him back in the summer last year. I mean, because we know that Simmons was out. He was out from the start.
Yeah.
There is nothing he could say or do because Simmons is in his one-track mind. He doesn't care about anybody else or see anything else. So Morey's like, all right, let's make this work. Oh, it's not going to work. Now everybody knows that it's not going to work. So now we have to wait. That's why we have to wait. And like I said, if he has a really bad trade, remember, we're not going to get an amazing player back for him. But if he has a really bad trade where it's like, oh my God, like that's awful. Or if he doesn't make anything, then that's where you can start to judge him and say, you know what? All right, Morey did mess this up. But I'm gung-ho. And if that trade deadline passes and Simmons is still here, feet to the fire. But until then, I can't say anything like that. And I think that Rivers is not a great coach, and I petitioned for him.
I don't think you're off. My challenges and my struggles with Rivers are really end of game situations. And, Green and some people talked about last about how he's been known to choke leads. And he is. When you're known to do it and you do it again and again, it becomes, part of your DNA. So that does I do struggle with that, but I do like Doc's ability to hold people accountable and really like make decisions and be on them. This is the NBA. These are, I know a lot of them are kids, but he still doesn't care. So I do like Doc from that standpoint. Brett, I think just let him play video games, kind of like Gabe did. But I think Doc holds them a little more accountable and teaches them life lessons. So I like Doc. I just wish he was better in late games. But for me, just right now, this team can only do what they can do because the roster is just so bad.
Right.
That's Morey. I don't know what more Doc can do.
I don't think there's much more he could do either. I think he was dealt a bad hand.
Yep. All right, bud. We got about 2 minutes here.
Simmons is a bad hand.
Yep. Oh, bad hand. All right. Let's just do this real fast. We got 2 minutes left here. Wrap it up. Have a quick one tonight. The Flyers are back in action. They take on the Kraken. It has felt like forever, man. I don't even know, I don't even know how to break down this game right now, but I do know once we get off this, I'll be watching it a little bit, excited to at least see some hockey action, back in town. They have scored points in their last 5 games with this long break.
I think they're 4-1, right?
Yeah, 4-1, exactly. I hope this doesn't, derail their momentum, but it is odd that they are.
Will.
I think the line shows it will. They are dogs out in Seattle tonight. Seattle being the expansion team. This is the Flyers' first ever game playing out there because, they've never had hockey out in Seattle. So it will be exciting. It will be fun. Can't wait to watch it. You're going to be watching it?
I'll try to. We'll see how long I can stay up for. I get tired nowadays. 10 o'clock games are bad.
I hear you. But it looks like right now they just started. They're a couple minutes in.
Yeah, they're a couple minutes in.
Martin Jones in that.
I think wasn't Carter Hart part of the health and protocol.
He was. So they
had a couple guys go on protocol.
And I think they play the Sharks tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is it tomorrow? Yeah, the 30th. So yeah, he's probably gonna have to play back-to-back nights. We'll see. But yeah, good to have some Flyers action back, and we'll see where they settle in. They're still 500. So, I mean, as much as, we've kind of, kicked them to the curb, a little win streak here or there, keep this 5-game point streak rolling, they could get exciting again.
Well, yeah, they'll just have to keep an eye on them from afar.
No doubt. All right, bud, that wraps it up for this week's show of Fourth and Go here on the Heat Ratio Network. We are, as always, it's in the tagline. It's up at the top. We are Philly 4 for 4 plus a whole lot more. We so appreciate people checking in, making comments. Big team effort. We got things, happening ahead. We're going to be live. Part of the Heat Ratio plan here. We're doing a live show next Tuesday from the Steam Bar out in, I think it's Upper Dublin. We'll have to double check. But you could see a lot of the personalities from this network out live, some trivia, some interacting, some Q&As. It's just going to be a fun time. Mark and I will see what we can do as well, but we just want to just promote. We're out here just trying to do what the Philly fans want, and that's speak for us. So, Mark, with that said, I wish you and yours a happy New Year. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Yes, enjoy.
All right, bud. All right, until. Well, maybe someday. But if not, we'll talk soon. We are Philly 4 for 4 plus a whole lot more. Fourth and Go wraps it up. Till next week, we're deuces.